In this video, I'm going to show you how you can build an efficient content team for 2024 and beyond that can actually drive revenue goals for your company. Let's do this. First, I'll discuss the mistakes that most people make when building out their content team and how you should reframe your mind for 2024 and beyond. Then how to start, grow, and develop your team over time. And finally, how to successfully integrate AI into your content program to get the best results. Now, my name is Stephen Pope, founder of The Content Engine, and over the past 2 years, I've helped hundreds of personal brands and content agencies automate and streamline their content systems overnight. Now, before we get into everything, I want to talk a bit about the mistakes that I see people making on a day-to-day basis when they start their content team. And that is hiring for specific titles that they've heard about in the past, like hiring a video editor or hiring a social media manager. These are really just job titles that have solidified themselves in the marketplace, and they don't necessarily really reflect what needs to get done in order for you to build a successful content marketing program. You don't need a video editor or a social media manager. You need specific people on your team with skill sets that can help you grow your business with content. And that's going to vary depending on your specific situation, strategy, and everything else. The other thing to point out is if you are hiring someone to help you in your program, they should also be creating content for themselves. Now, there are some exceptions. There are people that can help you create really good content that aren't creating content for themselves. But more than likely, if they do create content for themselves, they understand how to create content, how to grow on social media, and that will translate into better results for you. The other thing to remember is that good quality people are going to cost a lot more and will be able to get you much better results and a better ROI in your investment. So it's not really in your best interest to go find the cheapest help who is going to overpromise and underdeliver and therefore get you less results for your time and money. Because content is hard, and if it's not working and you're not sure why, and it's just because you hired someone that isn't experienced enough to help you get good results, you might quit or you might fire that person and just go through an endless cycle where you're just going through different people that never actually get you results. So it's better to form a small, high quality team that gets you good results so that you can scale when the time is right. All right, so now I'm in a spreadsheet that I use to help my clients build out their teams and help them think it through. So in this column here, I have the various skills and roles that you will need to run a successful program. And I'm using some specific terms. Some of them might be new to you. And I'm using this column here to really illustrate what the market as a whole often calls these types of people. So I really want to be able to show you what you should be hiring for, what are those real specific skills and roles, and what are some of the more generic terms that the industry uses so you can avoid just hiring a project manager or a generic video editor, and you really get the specific skill that's going to get you results for your business. So every good content program is going to have a content creator, and for a lot of businesses, that's going to be the subject matter expert, especially if you are a coach or a consultant or some sort of service provider that is trying to use content to grow your business. You need to be some sort of subject matter expert, and so every content program is going to need to have one. This is the person that is responsible for filming or writing content, the subject matter expert that both understands what people need and what they want and how that aligns with the business objectives to get an ROI with the program. So this takes some time and experience to be able to deliver on content that actually drives an ROI. But in most companies, especially if you're just starting out, this is typically the CEO or one of the founders of the company. Next up is the program architect. This is the person that is accountable to the business and the business results of your content program. They're managing the entire content team, reporting to the CEO, or maybe the CEO is actually acting as the program architect to start. This is really not an entry-level or outsourced position. It's really hard to outsource or give an entry-level position the responsibility of getting results for the business. So when a content program is just starting out, the CEO is often the content creator and also the program architect, and might actually have to serve as some of the other roles as well until you can hire these things out. And I will talk about that progression in a bit. The next role you need to hire for is the content machine manager. So in this day and age, we really are building a content machine. So this is more than just a generic project manager. You really want someone that can man your content machine. My machine is built out in Airtable. So I say, who will man the Airtable system? Who understands content and can run the team? The single person that is responsible for making sure content is published on time and the team members have what they need to be successful. So the more this person understands content, the more successful they will be at this role. Now, obviously, a good project manager could become a content machine manager, but it's worth understanding that this person is going to get much better results if they understand content and content teams. Now, the next thing you may or may not need for your particular content program is a social media videographer, not a wedding videographer. And I don't mean to pick on wedding videographers in general, but I'm just using this to illustrate that someone that is recording audio or video for for social media is going to be much different than someone that is skilled at doing weddings. This is someone who can shoot content designed for social media consumption. Next up, you're going to need a social media video editor, not just a generic video editor. There are lots of people that have been editing videos for a long time. Maybe they're even editing video from a wedding. In this case, you want someone that's responsible for knowing your audience, the different trends, and they're able to cut and edit video to get and hold attention. They're not just randomly putting in stock footage, and every edit has a purpose. They're able to cut out needless content for you, and they really know what your audience wants. Next up, you might need a copywriter, not someone that just can write out text and get the job done. You need someone that's responsible for writing titles and copy and content description that produces booked calls. So you want someone that's able to write persuasively to your target audience. And again, if you're the CEO and you're just starting out, you might be the content creator, you might be the program architect, you might be the content machine manager, but you're most likely going to need a good social media video editor, and you might even be writing the copy yourself, and we'll talk more about this in a bit. Next up, you're going to need a graphic artist, someone that's responsible for creating designs, graphics, thumbnails that move the needle. That means they're getting higher click-through rates on YouTube, and they're helping your videos actually get more views. They're not just creating something that you like, they're creating something that your audience will actually click on, that gets more views on your video content. And again, this is more likely going to be someone with experience that knows how to do this and really can understand what your audience wants. The next thing you're going to need is a repurposing editor, not just a video editor. There's a big difference between sifting through content and repurposing it and just editing it from the start. This is someone that is responsible for picking great clips from existing long-form content, and they can develop a strong hook. They can help provide context. They can create good content, and they can end the content in the right spot. So when you're creating video clips from social media, you'll see a lot of people just pick out a random clip and it just doesn't really have a strong hook, or it just doesn't provide enough context so the clip makes sense, or it ends in some random spot and it just doesn't feel like a good ending. And a lot of video editors are not necessarily good at this. You might find one that is, but don't assume that just because they're a video editor that they know how to repurpose content effectively. The next thing you're going to need is a distributor. A lot of people in the past have called this a social media manager or just an assistant. But again, these are just titles. It doesn't necessarily say they have the experience to publish your content and make it perform on social media as it should. This person or persons can develop an understanding of your audience, understands the channels that you're posting to. TikTok and YouTube are different platforms and they need to understand how they work. They can also likely develop, create, and post content independently from you. They can repurpose it from other places, and they can gather insights from those channels, TikTok or YouTube, back to the content creator during the planning sessions. So this is a very skilled role. And again, if you're just starting out, the CEO might have to also play this role and learn how to do it. But you don't necessarily just want your assistant posting content to social media and assume that that's going to get you the results that you want. As I've laid out here, there's a lot more to it than just posting. Obviously, you're going to want someone that's helping you with quality control. That's pretty straightforward. Someone with high standards and understanding of what works and what does not, so that you're not creating and publishing subpar content. You also might need a storyteller if you have someone helping you create scripts, not just a script writer. You really want someone that's able to tell stories and help you do the same. And last but not least, you want to figure out ways of using artificial intelligence to help you create really good content, not mindless output. You see a lot of people out there right now showing videos on how to use AI in content, but most of it is mindless output. You really wouldn't want to publish that content. It's not going to get you business results. So you want to think, how do we develop prompts, automations, and processes to reduce team workload by 30 to 60%? How do you use AI to make interesting content and not harm your brand in the process? Now, again, obviously, this is a lot of different skills and roles that you need to hire for. And most people that are just starting out are not going to be able to hire all of these individual skills to start. And so a CEO is most likely going to be learning and playing a lot of these roles, but because they care about the business and they're able to get the business results, they will likely be able to learn these different things with a lot of hard work in order to make it happen. So I did map this out into 3 different stages. In the beginning, you're going to build a pretty scrappy team. In an ideal world, the CEO is able to find a content specialist. And when I think of a content specialist, it's really someone that can do a lot of these different things. They have a lot of skill doing video editing. They might also be able to write copy and create graphic art, and they might be able to do repurposing, and they might have experience with social media so they can help you as a distributor. So this is a really talented person that you hire that helps you do a bunch of different things and allows you to focus on just creating content. But that is a really hard person to find, and more than likely it's going to be the CEO with a social media video editor, and the CEO is going to have to pick up the responsibilities to making all of these other things happen successfully. Now, once your program is off the ground and it's ROI positive, that means it's actually producing more money than it's costing hiring you. If you still haven't found that content specialist that can just do a bunch of different roles, it's more likely going to be the CEO, the social media video editor, and hiring on some sort of distributor that can help you with social media. Now, again, this isn't a hard and fast rule. Everyone's going to have a slightly different situation, but this is more likely what you're going to see. The CEO is going to have to do less of what they were doing before. They can just create content, and the team is going to be picking up more of the load. And then finally, once you have a wildly successful program and you're able to scale that out, you'll be at a spot where you can hire for multiple people for multiple roles, depending on what you need specifically for your business. But that's generally how it's going to go in these 3 different stages. When you're starting out, once you start to generate some income from your efforts, and when you can really start to scale up. So there you go. As always, I hope you found this video valuable. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. It tells me what type of content you want more of. And if you're looking for some cool automation that can help you build an efficient and automated content process, make sure to check out the video that's popping up on your screen. I talk about how you can build out a system that will help you do that. Check out the video, and I'll see you there.